Dum dee dum dum. Why is that always what comes to my mind when a stream starts? It's like Dragnet or something. Not entirely sure. I like to just drag my feet at the beginning of these streams, see if anybody shows up in the first minute or so, because it feels weird to launch into talking about stuff to nobody. Yeah. Let's see. This is my streaming tab in Arc, which is just crap. That's some stuff I want to try looking at. Just ideas, you know? Because a stream can turn into a blog post, can turn into fun pens. Who knows what turns into a talk someday, you know. All this. I'm going to get into it a little bit, and then if people start showing up, we can kind of loop back to Adam's original blog post and see how that goes. All right. So we don't need this. I'm in the CodePen 2.0 editor, of course. We're not going to need JavaScript. I hope we won't. I'm going to aspirationally remove any JavaScript from this. But what I'm going to do is make a button because I want something to click on it. Click me, which is going to show up right here. Fantastic. Oh, it's Mr. Emmett. Always good to see him, man. Right. And the clicking is going to open a popover because that's what I want to do. So the popover in this case, I think we should just make a div. The div has an ID of, I don't know, thing one, I guess. And I don't think it's going to need anything else because we'll just style it. I'm thinking of like clicking blue circles and things like that. Really simple stuff to get into what this aim actually does and see if we can make it work on some regular ass elements, you know? So popover target is thing one. Is that all we need? No, we need this to be a popover. Yes. Okay. So a thing that is a popover is, let's say, width 100 pixels. You can go H100p tab. Oh, that's percentage. I think with what is it? H100 tab. That's Emmett for 100 pixels. Pretty good. Background blue or something. So if I click this button, this popover should open. It should be right in the middle of the screen. Yeah, it is. That is magic. And it toggles to, and if I click outside of it, that's even cooler to me. Just as someone who's had in their code base a click outside detector for a zillion years, that's a whole bunch of JavaScript. It's so nice to be able to click outside something with this little code and have it work just perfectly fine. Okay, if we want to animate the entrance of this popover, how might we do so? Well, we're going to need, there's just like newfangled CSS stuff to make that possible, but it's animating between display none. Right now, this thing is like display none. If we open DevTools and look at the popover itself, it's going to have display none on it. And when we open it, it's going to be display block or something. Or does that display none goes away, popover, and then popover open or something? Anyway, it's display block. The computed style will be display block, right? Display block, yes. And it comes from just magical user agent style sheet land because we didn't do anything. Hi, Sue. Thanks for joining us. Cool. So when you're animating between display none and display block, we have to do that allow discrete CSS. Is it allow discrete? No, it's allow keywords. Discrete animations. I forget what it is. It's not just discrete. Transition behavior allow discrete. That's such a weird thing to remember, but okay. And so we'll say transition the display happens over a second or something. Is that going to work? No, we're just animating the display over a second. Do I have to do this? Did I accidentally override the... Yeah, see, okay, I click it. Now I'm going to click, which you can't hear me do, but I like click. 1 second later, it goes away, which is cool because now I could fade it out, right? So how would I do that? I'd have to say like pop over closed. What is closed? How do you say that? Well, you have to say that's not open. So you have to go like, and not pop over open. That's like the closed state. So we could say, well, the opacity goes down to 0 when it's not open, whereas the default, it will be 1. But that means we need to do this too, which is opacity is also a second or something. Oops, we can't do that comma there. Is that going to work? So we're going to click it. It's going to immediately open. Then we're going to click it again, and it's going to fade out, right? Why didn't it fade out? Do we have to be specific about opacity 1 here for it to do that? Transition opacity. There's a typo. Oven. Oh. Emmett, you win the literal prize for today. I would have never found it. Click, click. Fades out. Oh my God. Wait, just give me $100. I can't believe that worked. All right, we're going to click it. Fades out. Click it. Ooh, it's starting to fade in now too. How do we get the fade in? It's like after the first one it fades in? Or is it if you let it finish? Oh, I see. It's like if you don't let it finish, it starts a new one on its way in because it's not totally gone yet. Oh, that's pretty funky. But this will just instantly appear after if the animation is fully completed. So how do we get it to fade in as well? That's starting style, right? Starting style. Only when the popover is open. Popover open. When you're about to open, you have opacity 0. I think that's going to work. Watch. Oh my God, it faded in. Oh my God, it faded out. Fade in, fade out, fade in, fade out. The fade in, fade out is like, what do they call that in XSS, like in web security? Every web security exploit, when they're demonstrating XSS, is like, can you get it to do an alert? Like, can you force the page that you're on to show an alert? And it doesn't matter. It's not about the alert. It's not the alert that is dangerous. What's dangerous is that you are able to get the website to execute arbitrary code. So in our case, this isn't about the fade in and the fade out. It's that we got it to happen. Which is pretty cool. So rock and roll. That's a big deal. Like, this has not been possible in CSS for my lifetime, and now it is, and I think that's very exciting. We could say that, so, but, I mean, I guess to put a point on it, though, we should probably say that, like, these styles are, if we had to, like, make blocks of it, it'd be like I almost want to be more specific about the open state instead of, like just have a thing that says pop over open. This is obviously state, the open state. And then, and this stuff we're going to just put up here. We're going to tuck some stuff away. We have these 3 states. This state is the state closed state. Cool. And this state is like before open. Or it's kind of like the way out, because when it's closed, it's not there. So it's not just like, what does it look like when it's closed? It doesn't look like anything when it's closed. But these are the styles that it transforms to on the way for it to leave. And this is the like before open state. It's 3 states. And I think that's important to think about with all this, is that you're always dealing with 3. So is there anything special we wanted to do? Like, these are also kind of the open states, but they're just the all the time states too. But like the fact that it's blue, it could only be blue when it's open, for example, but I guess that doesn't matter very much. But we could say that like on its, like before it opens, it has its translate is like negative 100 pixels 0, meaning 100 pixels to the left. But then on its way out, it's actually like a different value, translate 100 pixels 0. So I think it should come in from the left and leave to the right. Well, it's left from the right. Did I typo it? Translate. Do I need to make sure it's like position relative or something? I wonder why that doesn't apply. The opacity clearly does apply. Oh, it's because it's not transitioning it. Translate. 1 second. I also think you can possibly put, allow discrete here, which might look a little cleaner. And then it also opens up the door for like this one can be like, we can like ease these if we want. So we weren't translating it. So what we can't really do is all, because they're not all allow discrete. That's going to screw it up. Allow discrete like flips when it happens and stuff. It's a little weird to explain. Animate in, animate out. I think that's really cool and satisfying. So the aim thing, which is what I named this video, I think, that comes from Adam's blog post here, is like, where is that? Like, if we're thinking of states, where does this come from? This before open state. We could do anything we want here. So instead of just simple stuff like this, what if the before open state was like coordinates from an anchor? What if the coordinates came from this button? It doesn't have to be this button. Could be anything in the whole world. Could be the entire document if we want it to be. But I think it's kind of neat and relevant that like when you click something, it comes from where you clicked it. That's just kind of a neat idea, I guess. So we'll say the thing with a popover target. That's the button. I don't know why I'm using that selector. It just feels nice because I'm using popover here, I guess. This thing could have a anchor name of like dash dash, and I also, this is kind of a cool Adam thing where he puts the anchor like in it. Whatever, anchor 1. I don't even know. It doesn't matter because this demo is so small. Okay, so that thing like has an anchor, and then we can now say that this thing's like, what is it? Position anchor. Position anchor is that, and now they're like tied to each other. It's not going to do anything just yet because we're not using that anchor's ability, but now the state could use it. So I don't think this is going to do anything. Okay, but let's like stop doing these translates and start doing something else. Let's say that this popover, we'll leave it the size and color that it is and all that stuff, but we'll say that it's like position fixed, or I guess. So now when we open, it's just going to be there or not be there, right? Okay, and we'll see what we're going to animate in the end. I don't mind that these things are there, but we're going to animate like other stuff. So let's say when it's open, I don't know, let's just pick some values. Like top is 100 pixels, left is 100 pixels. So now when we open it, it's just going to be it's not going to be in the middle anymore. And the only reason it was in the middle before is because I think its inset value is weird. Let's confirm that. Is the inset on this unusual? Yes, inset 0. What if we made it inset auto? That's funky. Now it's in the upper left. Why is top and left being overridden? Like, why? Is it going to tell me that? Let's go to computed. I wonder why top is like crossed out there. Top is 0 because Oh, because that's just what inset does? That's fine. But I want these to be the value, and they're not the value. Why are they not the value? Let me just refresh this to make sure we're in good shape. Why is it way down here and not up to the left? Like what other styles? Oh, is it margin auto? Is that the problem? Margin, I don't know, unset or something. Yeah, there we go. Now it's 100 pixels from the top and 100 pixels to the left, as we would expect in the open state. But let's say that's fine. Let's say we don't want that. Let's just let it be in the middle. The middle is a perfectly fine zone. But I want it to start from the coordinates of the button. That's why we did all this anchoring work. So this style, the before open state, I want the top to actually be something, and I want the left to be something. But I don't know what exactly, but I do know what. It's the anchor's top position. So that's what this fanciness. Anchor top and anchor left. Now, I think when it starts at that position and then moves to this position, I wonder what will happen because they're kind of unset here. I see. It starts there, but it doesn't have anywhere to go. So why don't we say like left is 50% or whatever, because it's just the body. Well, we'll do top first. We'll do top left to be consistent. So now there's two values, even though they're different percentages. Is that enough to, and then let's animate them both. So we'll say top is 1 second ease and left is 1 second ease. Is that enough? Does it know how to anchor, to translate from this to this? Mew. Mew. Ooh, it knows how to go back to that, that's for sure. But it didn't start there. It just started immediately. I would have thought that would have been okay or something. But maybe we need to put these here too. Yeah. That's kind of cool. So we click it and it's starting exactly where that button is. So if we, for example, just did something really random and weird, like body, text, align, right, or something, and now this button is going to be over here instead, it's going to come from there. So like it matters where the button is. And that is in the spirit of Anchor Interpolated Morph to me, is that these states that we're creating are based on where the anchor is. They're not hard-coded values. They like come from there. So let's just, we don't need to do that. I just wanted to point out that that's kind of the point, is that we have these kind of anchor points that we can animate from. It's just very cool. Let's make sure that when it opens, it's not just 100 pixels and 100 pixels of height. That's maybe how we want it to end up. I'd say like that's okay that that's how it ends up. That's that open state. But we'll have the width and height in the beginning be the actual size of the button, which I think would be interesting. So we can say that the width, and I think in this case we need anchor size is width, and height is anchor size height. I think it's a different function than the anchor function. And then, yeah, so it should start out exactly the size of the button. And then when you click it, it'll translate to these values instead, maybe. Look at how tiny, it like immediately gets tiny on the way out. So we need the closed state, which is back to this stuff. That should help it get back to where it needs to go. Okay. It's close. We just need to put the, the height and the width in here and stuff. Is that all we're doing? Yeah. So it starts that small size, gets to the big size, and animates back down to the small size. Almost. Is the box sizing weird or something? Do we need to, is there like padding involved? Box sizing border box. Is that going to fix the size of it? It is actually. That's funny. The button must have like user agent style padding that top and left and width and height were getting calculated a little wrong. That's pretty satisfying, honestly. So in this case, we're doing. It's funny though. Didn't we try to solve like why is it way down here when we? What is the open state again? Oh yeah, we this is correct. Top left 50%. That is exactly where we're telling it to be. If we wanted it to be centered on the screen, we could do the translate trick, where the translate is negative 50%, negative 50%, which is of itself. So that should be centered, I think, in the screen. That's perfectly centered in the viewport. It feels like it jumps a little fast at the beginning when I click to close. It like gets really narrow really quick. I'm not sure what's up with that because the width here should be the same. Am I using anchor size correctly? I don't think it'd be working if I wasn't, but I do want to read about it a little bit. Anchor size. Yeah, anchor size width, or what is self inline as opposed to width or inline or whatever. Oh, and you can anchored name and anchor size. Oh, you instead of it just implying what anchor, you can say which anchor. I guess that makes sense. What about those values? What is this self stuff? The length of the anchor element in the block direction. It doesn't really. The length of the anchor elements containing block. Oh, okay. So block and inline use the containing block, and self block and self inline don't. Do we really understand what the containing block is? No, but so we could go self inline, wasn't it that? And self block. Was that better? Is that better? We don't really know. Shave. It's funny. It goes back to exactly where it should, but when you click start, it comes away from not quite where we want it to be. But that's because the top and left. No, we do have them here. What if they're gone from here? I don't really love them there because it feels like a fourth state. Why is it coming from above and to the left of that? Is a little unusual to me. I'm not sure that we self-inflicted that problem though, but I will undo for a little bit and see if that is anything. Oh yeah, it's the initial translate. Where did we put that? Oh, it was here. So when it translates into its open state applies immediately. Oh, is it because we don't have translate on here? No, maybe it's because we do have translate on there. Oh, that was a typo. Anyway, that's kind of fine. It's not like I'm obsessed with this thing being in the middle of the screen anyway. It going anywhere is kind of the point of the morph, which I feel like is kind of cool. What if we made it go somewhere else though? Like what if we had a target? Do we have a target icon in our icon set? Target. Not really, but a target is pretty easy to create, isn't it? Let's make a target. So div.target, I guess. .target is position absolute, and we're going to put it in, I don't know, the top 10 pixels, right 10 pixels. We'll make it border radius. Can you use infinity? I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. 999 pixels. Background red. Width is 60 pixels and the height is 60 pixels. How could we actually make it targety? That seems worthy to do, right? So can we go border, 10 pix solid white? Can you do multiple borders yet? I saw that rumored. Is it just in the last couple of days that you could just comma separate a bunch of borders? I don't think so, but we can do outline. 20 pixels solid red. Is that going to give us a little extra thing? Yeah. Oh, it literally looks like target. That's funny. That's a target. Cool. I liked it better with 20 hanging off the edge a little bit. So when we click it, can we get it to leave to that? So instead, you know, like I think that's some of the value here. So anchor name is, we'll put the target guy in there again. Oh, you can't see my pop-up emoji picker because it's not shared. But I will pick the anchor thing and I'll say this is the anchor of the target. Cool. So when it leaves, I want to use this. So maybe that's why this allows you to do this. Is that going to work? That's the leaving state. And now we're just targeting somewhere else, right? Oh, it went to the way bottom over here. Did you see that? Boosh. And it just instantly did it too. So what did we do wrong there? Does this know? Is that enough? Or do we need a position anchor? Do we need to like change what the position anchor is? Maybe that's the way to do it. Instead of pasting the specific target in the function, we'll just change what the position anchor is on the way out. So it's target. I don't know if that's going to work. I have absolutely no idea. Nope. I want it to. No, it does the same thing. It went all the way to the bottom right. Why did it do that? Why did it do that? Behave the exact same way, which is a little encouraging to me because I think it's interesting that pasting the actual anchor name within these functions is just as good. How do we figure out what's going on there then? So it's opening to the right place, and I want it to, when you're closing it, this is like the way out state, that it's picking a different place to animate these values to. So as a sanity check, we could just say top is 0, and oh, is it because there's only a right value? Maybe that's why it got confused, but I'm not sure. Let's just remove this for now. We'll say right is, I don't know, 200 pixels, and we don't care about your width. So on the way out, is it moving towards like this top center about? Like kinda? What if we say top is like 500 pixels? Will it move down or like stay about where it is? Yeah. Oh, it's because right. That's the weird thing again. We're not even animating the right value. We're animating the left value. Okay. That's doing what we want. So now we want the left value to be, I think that's part of the issue here is that using left and then like switching to use right is just too weird. So we could say that the left, we could use calc, you know, to use right. It's 100% minus 10 pixels or something. Just now it's still over on the right. That's weird, but at least we're still using the left value. Now, this left value can be, let's try this again, where we just change the target to anchor left. Look at it did the thing where it got really tiny. Anchor top. It's so funny. It's doing the same behavior where it pops way down to the bottom right corner. even though I've changed the target to be this new place. And what, in my mind, what anchor top should resolve to once we've set this new target is the top left of literally this target here. That's what's confusing me, that it's not doing that. Like, is it just not finding this anchor? What if we change this to the anchor, or to the target? So it should come from there when we click this button. Yeah, that works. And so if we don't change the target, and so we're doing the same thing where we're going back to where we were, we'd put this stuff back in, it's going to come to and from the target. No, it won't go back to the target. It hates the target. What's wrong with the target then? I guess that's the quiz, because I think we were on the right track. There's just something that's not happening correctly on the target. It's position absolute. It has a top and a left value. It has a width and a height. It has these values that should be pretty usable for anchor positioning. And we're animating top, left, height, and width, and we're not using anything but top, left, height, and width. So this blue thing, it'll just shoot right down here when I hit close, and then disappear. It's shooting to the bottom right, which I have no explanation for the behavior of that. We could set like a speed, right? Speed, and the speed is 100 seconds. And so I'll take every 1 second. I think I could get Command-Shift-L here is going to give me all of them. And then I'll hit delete and I'll say var of speed. And so now when I click open, it's going to take absolutely forever to get there. That's kind of not what we want. I want it to not take that long, but I want it to be inspectable while it's working. So, you know what I mean? Can we see its computed top and left values change as it's doing this? Look at this. In DevTools, you can watch it chug its way down there. That's kind of fun. But the idea is, let's make it, I don't know, 10 seconds. Would that be more tolerable amount of speed? Now, if I click it, it's going to be moving along, but I'll get there in 10 seconds. And then we can click that button again and be like, why are you in the bottom right? Click. What it's computed top and left are the same. Is it losing its display value? Display is blocked. That's fine. Does it lose its position of fixed? No, that never changes. Maybe it just needs width and height too. If those get like reset, it gets confused or something. Just test if that fixed. We can't wait 10 seconds. We gotta just do it. Nope, it's like the width and height are still wrong too. So let's set it back to 10 seconds. Click it for it to come down. We'll watch it come down. It's got the position anchor here. We want to watch the position and the position anchor this time. Top and right values. Now we'll click it again, and it's going to be at the bottom right. Oh, the top has gone to 512 pixels. So I guess that's the problem. And the width went to 10 pixels. And now it's going to disappear. Yeah. Why would the width go to 10 pixels and the top go to 512? That's very strange. Because we're telling it what we want it to do. Is it like this doesn't exist? Like it's wrong, it can't find the target? Boom. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on, buddy. If I click this, my guess is the behavior is the same. Yeah, it's going to go down there. Show, it is the same. It cannot find this anchor. Is it the position in the DOM of this target? It doesn't seem like it would be, because it's in the same hierarchy as this button is, and it's able to find that anchor just perfectly fine. Let's remove the emoji just because. target. Get that speed back correctly. 1 second. Merp, merp. Nope. Merp, merp. So if we hard-coded values, it's fine in here. But if we change the target, what if we don't do that? Shouldn't it just go back to... Well, now we've lost the animation at all. Is the speed 1 second now wrong? We have no animation. We need to back up. Command Z ourselves out of this mess. Back to somewhere where it was working correctly. Oh, that's messy right there. Okay, is this happy? Okay, we still got our target and that's happy. Anchor name, Bob. Position anchor Bob. This isn't a big deal. We can abandon this train of thought, but it is so funny that like it's doing that same behavior where it just kicks down to the bottom. But if I don't mess with the position anchor, it'll just go right. It'll just be perfectly pleased to go back to where it was. But if we change this left value to Bob, will that at least kind of go over there? It will. Okay. Making a little progress. Bob's your uncle. We could end the stream and just say Bob's your uncle and then just be over. Nope. 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 Okay. Left worked. The others didn't. Well, top and left work. No. Only left worked. When it was left, it worked. I swear it worked. There it is. Left is fine. It goes right back to where it's supposed to be. Only the top value is based on this button, not this anchor. But as soon as you do the top and the left, it's like, nope. Oh, that's so funny. Like, what do you not like about this? It should just go up a little higher, but instead it's like freaks out. Is it because the div is like 100% tall or something weird? Is that what's wrong? No, it has an explicit height of 40. So it's definitely up there. It's just moving to the bottom. I wouldn't doubt that it's a bug of some kind. The only reason I'm messing with this, if you're still here watching this, is because that's the point of Adam's anchor interpolated morph here, is that the positions that things are coming from and going to are based on anchors. That's the kind of the whole point of it. So he's got a video, but it's better to look at demos, I think, if he does that. So the point of he's got this new message button. It's going to open this new message thing, and that's cool. It kind of looks like, oh, you just centered both things, but that's not the point. The point is that the thing expands from the button itself, so the button theoretically could be anywhere, and it still opens. I think that's the idea. And he's saying, oh, it's good for tooltips and popovers. That's what we're doing. What is this link to? He's got a popover version. Yeah, it opens up from it, which is cool. Rio says, this screams view transitions to me. Yeah, view transitions are cool too. Actually, they're very cool, and I love them forever. But they require JavaScript, at least for single page ones like we're doing here. And in this case, we are doing this without any JavaScript. This is CSS only, you will recognize. Anyway, kind of cool. In Adam's thing, I think that's a lot of his point, is like there's a button and then the button is the anchor and stuff happens from the button. We haven't explored too much for them. I was hoping to take it one step further than Adam took it in this post, to be like, I think he even says he's literally talking about it. Morphing tricks from view transitions. Oh, I see. You get a little more. You get a little juice. Get a little juice if you use the JavaScript too. Transitional transitions happen out of thin air or fade in from a generic center point, but by leveraging anchor and starting style, we can let CSS tell a story about where an element came from. Yes, I love that. AIM was my favorite messenger app. Heck yeah, me too. I was AOL all day, baby. I think I used ADM for a while after that, once other ones started to be cool, but because it worked with AIM too, you know. Going back to the top for a minute, this Adam conflates or whatever, like he intentionally is like, this is a little bit like flip, which is an old school thing we used to do. First, last, invert, play. But I think flip is pretty different. Flip, the idea was you'd move it to its final position, and then you'd use transforms to move it back to where it originally was, and then essentially like take your finger off the rubber band, and it would animate back into the final position. But the point of it was using transforms which animate more efficiently, you know. But here we're just using like top and left and width and stuff, things that traditionally we're kind of like not supposed to animate or that have poor animation performance. Flip was about performance more than helping you get the right math, you know. Although they are related, because the libraries, the JavaScript libraries that you'd use for flip would help you get the math. Whereas like in our case, these anchor functions are the things that are helping us get the math, which is cool. So they are related. I'm just saying it's not just like, this is flip in CSS, because it's not quite that. Pretty cool. Are we learning anything? Anchor size, that's how he was doing it too, with starting style and an open state. Yup. I mean, obviously I read this, so I would know. What other interesting things did he say? Does he say anything about exit transitions? As for exit out on the dialog, it's similar as enter stage in my example, but you could easily transition a different way, or crucially right there, that's why we've been doing this, to a different element. He doesn't do that in most of my demos. I was doing it right back to the original element too. It feels like you should be able to change the anchor on the fly on the way out. We're doing it exactly like this, only this is a dialogue element, not a popover. So we're just using a slightly different selector, but that's it. Anyway, pretty cool. I think we might have to leave it at that for this particular demo because I don't know what's going on here. This feels buggy to me, how that's operating with a different anchor. But I will tell you that I played with this for this demo too. Can you see that okay? That should be okay. Maybe I can close these tabs that you don't need to look at anyway. For this grid, I did a blue sky of the load in animation yesterday where they fade in one at a time. I think that's pretty classy. That fade in is simple, and I was just trying to show off how the cells, isn't that a cell somewhere, has this animation delay of which number sibling it is. So this one has 0.05 seconds. This one has 0.1 seconds. This has 0.15 seconds of this fade in animation. It's not that exotic. It's kind of cool. It's a tiny little trick. But as I was working on that, I'm like, ooh, maybe I could have it so that when you click these, they open like a modal or something. You can see the bigger version of it, but they come from where they were and they go back to where they were. Ah, it's so cool, isn't it? And that is just what I was trying to do in that more boring demo where there's a button that wraps the thumbnail. The thumbnail is the small version of the image. You can see it here with the query parameter on Unsplash that just says width equals 700. That's probably bigger than it needs to be for this. You'd probably use a full-blown responsive image to make sure that the smallest version loads. But then the biggest version, which is loading lazy, so it shouldn't trigger the thing to get downloaded, has a much bigger version of the same image. So when you click, the one I'm looking at here is the small version, and as I click it, that's the big version. You can see it's, well, I can see anyway, it's a lot more detailed of an image, and it's opening about as big as I would want to give it on this page. Maybe it should be a little bigger, but So it's not the same exact image. It's morphing from one to the other. And an image itself, I learned, can just be the popover. I found that very satisfying as well. So that the way that's working is a little bit more complicated. The cell, which this is just think of like a cell of a grid, a table cell, or a grid cell, I guess. That's the thing that has the anchor scope on, or no, well, don't worry about scope, although it is very relevant and useful here. The button itself, which covers 100% of the size of the cell, that's the anchor. So these edges and corners of each of these grids, that's where it starts from. Those are the positions that the starting style of the popover are going to be. So that's what's going on here. And in fact, we're doing top, left, bottom, and width and height. Like I wonder if it almost hurts it to do all 6 of those when really you either should, it's like, I feel like we either need right and bottom or width and height, probably not both. I should explore that, but whatever. So that's the, before it's open, it's just sitting where it is. The popover, the large one, the big one, starts at exactly the anchored position. And on the way out, it goes back to where it was. That's kind of fun, They go back to where they were from. That's Adam saying, oh, it tells a story of where it came from. I don't know if it's like the perfect use case, but it's certainly rather relatively performant, at least here in Chrome. Feels okay to me, and it's honoring prefers reduced motion. It's just not gonna transition any of that stuff if there's no motion there. But to me, that feels pretty darn satisfying, doesn't it? To have popovers automatically come from where they wanted it to come. Yeah. Anyway, looks pretty good. That's AIM. I want to come up with more use cases for it, and I need to prove out that you can have it start from one anchor and go to a different anchor. It seems like I'm probably just doing something wrong or there's a bug. So we'll figure it out. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Obviously, I say this every time, but I hope to do more of these. I have my whole tab open of just some other ideas. I have a lot more ideas than this, but I feel like we got to look at that geolocation element. I've only played with it a tiny little bit, but I think that's pretty darn interesting that you can do that now. But I have some doubts as well. I found some nice charts I wanted to play with and just see how well they work in CodePen 2.0. I wanted to look at all the different ways you can do scroll affordances, because this is like, I love this demo and I've used it before, how it has got the shadows at the top and bottom, but only conditionally and all that. But there's a kind of a more modern way than this is. So I thought I'd look at like 3 or more techniques to do scroll affordances and stuff. Honestly, this stuff is mostly for me. It's like I learn all this stuff, and then when it comes up in the real world, I feel like I have a toolbox to reach for because I've played with it before. So fun. Thanks for hanging out. See you next time. Maybe tomorrow. I hope tomorrow.